Welcome to another episode. So today it's a vlog. It's been a pretty busy day. A typical Saturday. A family of 3 people. Normally we just wake up in the morning, have a breakfast with really no plan in mind, especially if there's nothing major happening, there's no doctor's visit, there's no shopping to be done. We just wake up, have breakfast, then decide on how the day will go. So on this day, we had a few things what we were supposed to do. One was to get our baby vaccinated for the 7-month flu vaccine. And then 2 was to go to the organic market and get some stuff from pots and pans. Every time we go have a vaccine, it's just usually one of those days we all dread. No one wants to be part of it, but we have to be part of it. Because from the very first time when she had her first vaccine, after that you hear that cry. It's the worst thing. And then now you imagine you have to go through that almost about every other month or every month, and it's not a pretty sight. And so for the vaccine, the thing I was just wondering about, like there are so many vaccines, and then we have additional vaccines on top of the ones approved by the KEPI, the Kenya government, blah blah. So I was just wondering, like, can you imagine, like, by the time maybe our grandchildren are having to be vaccinated, and there are about like 500 vaccines. I know, again, something else, obviously it's not, I'm not speaking from a medical term, but I'm assuming with time they start combining the vaccines, so then it's not a big deal. And then also with time, some of the diseases completely fall off, then we don't really need them. Like nowadays, I don't think tetanus is... I remember my gyna telling me, if you're living in Nairobi, you're not out there a lot, and by out there I mean you're not working at a junkyard or what, the chances of you getting tetanus, really, So some vaccines I feel like just drop off, and then some vaccines are combined. So with time you get, the vaccines are more, but then the dosage is almost, maybe it just remains the same. Hopefully that happens, because these visits are not pretty. So it's like every month or every 3 weeks you have to go to the hospital for a vaccine, and I absolutely hate it. I always cry, so yeah. So for this particular one, it was a flu vaccine, which is usually optional for the 6th and 7th month. So the 6th month is the first shot, and then the 7th month they get the second shot of the flu vaccine. So it's optional, you don't have to. But we just thought with corona, and not even just corona, just the fact that she's in her first year, you don't want to risk skipping some vaccines and then exposing her to diseases that you would have easily avoided altogether. So for the first year, we've just decided to go with every vaccine that's thrown at us. And not even for the first, I think just generally we'll go for any vaccine that's thrown at us. We'll have to take it, because you don't want to be the reason why your child is sick. And then, so I was also curious about the different vaccines that are approved by, say, NHS in the UK or in the US, or even just South Africa, comparing the vaccines we get in Kenya and the vaccines that are offered in South Africa for just the first year. So I was going through them, and not to I wasn't going through them, comparing them to justify the reason why I need my baby vaccinated. It's just out of curiosity, like, do they get as many vaccines as we do, or do they get less, more than we do, less? I don't know, just comparing the two. Are there some that they get at certain stages that maybe we get later? And obviously, looking at I did an analysis of UK. I wasn't able to do the US one because you can imagine different states maybe have different policies. So then again, it's just a bit too much. So I was just able to just narrow down at least UK, South Africa, and then now Kenya. So what I noticed with at least Kenya and SA, we have almost the same vaccines and they are offered almost at the same time. So that's fine. At least that gave me the comfort. And then, but for the UK one, it's a bit different. There are some vaccines that they have that we don't have, or there are some that are offered a bit earlier, and then for us they're offered late. And then I noticed, I don't know if it's just for my book or my baby, but I don't have any tetanus vaccine for the baby, but it's still being offered in the UK if this site I'm using is updated. But this is not for I'm not advising anyone for anything. It's just out of curiosity, comparing, and then seeing maybe if there are other vaccines that are optional for us and maybe they're not listed in the book, then maybe I will talk to my pediatrician and see if we can include them, if it's very, very necessary. So I'm still in the process of studying some vaccines and seeing which ones are important, which ones maybe out of curiosity I can just talk to the doctor and ask her about why we're getting this, why we're still getting this. And then also something else I learned, I think there's nothing like overdosing on polio, because in my book I think we had an extra dose, which is still fine. At least we were told it's fine, you can't really overdose on a polio vaccine. So so that's fine. So this vaccine thing, it's a very tricky topic, especially now that with COVID, and also I don't know what happened to the malaria vaccine, but you can imagine, especially in Africa, we'd probably have the most vaccines because we are prone to more diseases compared to other countries. I also wanted to do a comparison between Africa and Asia, especially in India, not because of their state, but purely because of the population. There are more people compared to other. I feel like the more people there are in a country, then the more prone you are to diseases, because then the medical services are flocked or something like that. So anyway, that's just my thought and how the analysis thing goes on in my head. I like just comparing things and saying. So other than the vaccine, so we're done with the vaccine. At least she just cried for like 2 seconds, like just the prick. And then she cried. Sometimes she would overcry because maybe she's sleepy and you woke her up, or maybe she's hungry, like whatever it is. Then after the injection, she will just go crazy, because not really for the injection, but for the other reasons. So that was that. And then usually on vaccine days, I just make sure I dress her in something that's very comfortable, maybe like a dress or just a onesie, something that she won't be feeling irritated after the injection. Something else I wanted to point out. And then it's always just good to give your child the paracetamol after a vaccine, because you don't know how they'll react. Normally we go for the baby friendly ones, which there's never really much. We've never really had much of a side effects. Just the very first vaccine she got, where she had a little bit of a fever. But since then, she's always been fine after her vaccines. She doesn't get fevers or anything. But we always just make sure we give her the paracetamol just in case, especially towards the evening. And then we like having the vaccine done in the morning so that she's just over and done with the whole process. So after that, we went to the organic market at KSPCA. it's we wanted to get some stuff from pots and pans. Normally, sometimes they go to the organic market. So it was an interesting experience. I don't want to say it's overrated. No, just anything organic you'd want, or anything new you'd want, or you're curious about getting healthy stuff. Organic, really, actually, that's what it is. If it's honey, there's someone with honey. If it's So we were excited about going to pots and pans. We were looking for a cast iron, and then we wanted to just know, like, why would I want to get a cast iron pan when I can just get a stainless steel one, or I can get an enamel coated one? Like, there's so many other options. Why are the cast iron pans really that overrated? So after visiting the organic market, I realized it's a good investment, but at our stage right now, I honestly don't see the importance of getting a cast iron. It's expensive, and it's not so mandatory for me right now. Like, I'd rather just have nice stainless steel pans. But yeah, I wasn't able to get what I wanted because the things I had were not the size I would want. But I got a pretty little pot for my baby's food, because normally I use, the smallest I have is not, it's a bit big for the food she requires, especially say something like porridge. So I end up just making too much porridge and wasting most of it. So I got this tiny one. At least I'm able to make porridge when she needs it, and it's stainless steel, so even cleaning it is easy. It's the best. I'm hoping it will serve me as much as I want it to. But yeah, I love the size. I love the fact that it has a lid. The handle, it's stainless steel, and it's small. Yeah. So other than that, so we just had, just walking around, I had lunch, whatnot, and then decided to visit House of Leather at Crossroads, which was a very bad idea. So you're getting into this small door. I don't think the thing is really complete, because you're getting into this one gate, and then we got in, and the moment we got in, I just knew this is a bad idea, because then you have to go through if not half of the whole thing, you have to go through the whole thing to get out. And I remember there's a point I was just feeling like I can't breathe. Like, it's like I love the Kilimani one, because the Kilimani one, there are so many exits. But then this one, you get in, and then now it's just one other exit. So you get in, you have to go through the whole thing to get out. Anyway, that's just a topic for another day, and how people should really design things putting into consideration people's safety, because what if really I'm just so claustrophobic and I can't breathe, So that was strange. So we didn't even end up getting anything, because now we were just thinking we need to get out of here as soon as possible. So now we're just running through the thing to get out. Yeah. Pretty much that's a typical Saturday. We just go out, do whatever, and then go have lunch, and then come home, and then just chill, relax. Yeah, pretty much it. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the vlog, and I hope you've learned something as well, because I have, definitely. And I'll see you in my next episode. Please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and talk about this to your mom friends. See you. Bye.